And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alien Spaceship stream. You could be watching from anywhere around the country or the world, and I really appreciate every single one of you coming to you from the Spaceship Studios from a galaxy far, far away. All right, we have some different news we want to talk about. There's a trial verdict today. There was some more information on the Epstein files, and as well with the Johnny Depp trial reactions most likely will be later in the stream. So let's go over here, this way. Alright, hello everybody, it is me, Alien Spaceship. Hope everybody's having a good day, good evening. Hello Rebecca, hi, hey, hi, hello to you. Welcome to the stream, I appreciate you very much. Alright, so with today there was a late trial, although it ended an hour or two, like 2 hours ago. Which is a trial that is a celebrity trial. There's the Cardi B trial, and that one she was acquitted of any charges against her, and she was going to countersue for what happened. Then for some reason, the trial group that I watched, they have their video usually is delayed. They have, because of the way in the court, it's how it is. And then there was the news and other outlets that were showing it live and showing the verdict more closer to what it was, because there was a delay on the other streams. So then the chat was giving information. I was gathering the correct information from the news outlets and different streams and stuff to then tell the chat what was going on. But I wasn't the only one, of course. Everyone else was saying the same things too. But I thought that was interesting. I don't know why. It has to do with the court allegedly wants them to have a delayed stream. But then if other groups are having it quicker, there needs to be something done where you have it a real time, if possible, since other ones have it too. I don't know why not. That was something quite interesting today, and a lot of morals to these type of trials, even the celebrity trials. People might not always think they're the most important. I do think it does show or mirror real life, and I'll explain where anybody could be sued over anything, hypothetically. Anything could happen to anybody. I know even on YouTube, there could be falling outs of people and stuff like that. There could be also trolls and haters and stuff as well. Sometimes things don't work out. So yeah, anything could happen to anybody. So I think it was good to see that being displayed, and how she was acquitted of the charges and she was not found guilty of scratching the other person's face, their nail, and all the stuff. It just certainly, in my opinion, seemed like a money grab. And that's what most of the other people thought. There's a few people that were for the other person, forgot her name. The other person's name. I don't even really know anything about the other person. I know the name, it starts with an E. I'm just not familiar with the other person. But they got into a fight at a place, at a doctor, let's say, be more simplistic, it was a doctor's office. They got into a brawl, and it seems more of a money grab. And then there was this situation where the other attorney was talking about when Cardi B had this fight outside the courthouse, and the judge said that he did not see it. And then dude was real pushy. He said he has on a video. He said, you know what, I didn't see it, and everybody just behaved themselves, and we're going to wait until the jury comes back. And it was a very quick verdict. Very quick. So moral of the story is that if people want to do something unjust to somebody, try to get something out of them, like a money grab that's not justified, it's best not to do it. And now what Cardi B is going to do is counter sue. So it's just a good moral lesson in general, because a lot of times parables and tales have other meanings to them besides what you see on screen or so it's like a celebrities having a legal battle. There's also it could happen to anybody in real life. So that was cool to see the unity of chat. I always like seeing unity of the trial chat groups. It's a very good thing to see when people are coming together for this. It's nice. Earlier, the Donna Adelson trial, missed. I missed it, but I was there right when it was about to end. Like right when it ended, I caught the chat in a split second. The reason why I know this is because the video was going to be replaying, and it said streamed a few hours ago, like 6 hours ago or so. And that means I caught it in a split second when the chat was still open. If I had been a half a second late, I wouldn't have been in the chat. So I got to talk to some people briefly before the chat completely shut off. And I saw the replay of it. Interesting stuff. As I said, I still think that the defendant in that case is guilty. Right. The weather down here is getting cooler, but it's not cooler like it's going to be fall weather. It's just a less humid. That's like what it is. It's a little bit breezy. Yeah. Now, what we'll be talking about later is that there is going to be this press conference with the Epstein victims, and they released some files today. They released quite a bit of stuff today. Videos and pictures and all kinds of stuff. We'll be getting into a little bit. And hopefully as much information as possible could come out so people could know the truth, because this certainly caused a division in Trump's fan base for his movement, and it caused a lot of chaos and ripple effects across all sectors of life for a lot of people. Although there are other things going on that people could also focus on, as was said. A lot of people do think it is like the dignity and reputation of the country would be important for it to be known as much as possible. So it sowed distrust for some people. And hello, Bubbles. Shout out to you, Bubbles. Yeah, cat's over there. All right. So okay, now going over to this area right here. Okay, so here, shout out to the Spaceship Cats. I'm going to summarize what this trial was about. Hello there, therapist. Welcome to the chat. It's great to see you, as always. I hope that you've been doing well. And yeah, so basically today with the trials, I think that once again another interesting day at the Adelson trial. In my opinion, I think that she's still guilty. The Donna, that she had something to do with it, because it just doesn't seem logical for the murder to occur over that situation. And there was this watching the Cardi B trial. Oh, therapist, I have been well. I've been quite busy with the different stream reporting and stuff like that. With like watching stuff on streams and reporting about it, and YouTube stuff. But I've been doing well. Thank you for asking. So, at Cardi B, there is a delay on one of the streams, and then, but through the news, we were finding out different information about what was going on in the trial through other ways. So, relating to the chat, what was going on. And just to summarize what the Cardi B trial was about, for those that may not know, it is the Los Angeles County just cleared Cardi B on September 2, 2025 in a civil lawsuit filed by former security guard Amani Ellis. The suit, which sought $24 million, alleged assault, battery, and emotional distress stemming from the 2018 incident. I didn't realize it happened in 2018. That's quite a little ways back. Background on the 2018 altercation. The plaintiff claimed Ellis alleged Cardi B attacked her physically and verbally outside a medical office where she was a security guard. Ellis testified that she saw Cardi B exit an elevator and said, "Wow, it's Cardi B," before the rapper accosted her. Ellis accused Cardi B of spitting on her and scratching her face with long fingernails, which allegedly required cosmetic surgery. She also claimed Cardi B's celebrity led her to the job loss. And this is the defendant's account, who was pregnant but had not revealed it publicly, denied all physical contact. She testified that Ellis was trying to film her with a phone, which led to a heated verbal confrontation. Cardi B admitted to exchanging profanities, but instead of argument, never became physical. During the testimony, she stated, "Yes, I was angry because I am pregnant and this girl was about to beat my eos." Scared. A lot of times in these types of trials, it can be very comical. It could be the way they talk. It's like kind of watching a comedy movie. Yes. And the witness accounts, an observation and receptionist at the medical office testified on Cardi B's behalf. Both testified they did not see Cardi B strike Ellis. The receptionist claimed Ellis was the aggressor and scratched the receptionist's forehead during the scuffle. Contracting evidence, Cardi B's defense pointed out inconsistencies in Ellis's claim, noting Ellis did not immediately file a police report or go into the hospital after the alleged assault. Psychiatric testimony, the psychiatrist testified the defense that there was no significant evidence Ellis had sustained emotional injury, citing inconsistencies in her claims and her activities in social life and travels after the incident. The jury deliberated for less than an hour before reaching an unanimous decision in favor of Cardi B. Following the verdict, Cardi B told reporters that she is not touched and warned others against filing frivolous lawsuits against her, threatening to countersue in the future. And yeah, I saw she had a press briefing. Oh, hello, Miranda. It's great to see you. Welcome. Now, in this situation, she was saying at the press conference that she was going to sue. She was going to countersue. I remember that. I was like, wow, that's pretty incredible. And Shecky says, "Greetings, humans and alien too." Hello, Shecky. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the chat. Now, a lot of people believe with this case that... Oh, hello, Aaron. Welcome. Welcome. Now, this situation, it seemed to be... to be a money grab from the other side. And that is what it has seemed to appear to be. And it seemed like what the jury thought also. And that's just to summarize what this trial was about, and people could come up with their own opinions about it, as usual, which is fine. And lurk mode. Yeah, yeah, fact checking. So with the Epstein situation, there's some news about it. I'm going to talk about. A shout out to the spaceship cats. Oh, okay, Miranda, understood. You believe that the security guard was attacked? Okay, it could have been. It was. Sometimes with trials, they can make it look like somebody did something they didn't do, or vice versa. It certainly could be possible for that. And other people think, as I said, was a money grab. But yeah, and I hear what you're saying. And Miranda said, yeah, from what I've heard, the Epstein stuff is going bad. Yeah. Okay. Let's go here. Let's see, does this work or does it not work? It is going to work. Watch this. Okay. And it is doing that. Okay. So we're going to go over to the thing I saw earlier. Right here. Go over here. Yeah, show all. Okay, that's where I want to go. Yeah. Copy this. Miranda says Cardi B seemed truthful on the attacking her. She turned around and said, "Why are you recording me, B?" And then hit the security guard, and they both hit each other. Yeah, yeah. I don't really watch Cardi B stuff. I do think that with the trials can show morals. Like if somebody hypothetically were to file a unjust lawsuit against somebody that they didn't do something and or they did something and it was exaggerated. But of course, doing anything, people should keep hands to themselves. Or if what Miranda's saying is true, where Cardi B unjustly attacked her, and that's what caused that situation. Either way, this happens in real life to everybody. It's not known as much. So I do think it's interesting to talk about because these type of things happen. Could happen anybody, anywhere, and it happens all the time. But only the people that are like celebrities are known about. And with the trial stuff, I talk about all trials, but of course I don't know anything about Cardi B or what music she puts out. And Aaron, I block her and all celebs and everything. Miranda said she's very powerful and self-righteous, and she's just odd. I like her a little, but she goes on power trips. I don't. I do not blame you. I think that is very true, actually. If she's innocent or guilty, that's very possible. Yeah, definitely. And power corrupts the worst. It attracts the worst and corrupts the best. Well, obviously I'm a liar because I love watching the Amber Heard trial, but I've more invested with Donna. Yeah, yeah. I've been watching Donna. I've been watching that too. Yeah. And Jeffrey said, okay, Jeffrey Epstein files released by House panel include court documents, video, flight records, live update. Yeah, the security lady didn't stand a chance. And literally, the music isn't even music. It's just a series of bombs. Oh well. And what to know about the Epstein documents release? The House Oversight Committee on Tuesday released more than 33,000 pages of files related to Jeffrey Epstein, as well connected financier whose sex trafficking charges in 2019 deletion in federal custody have drawn years of public speculation. The Gauntlet panel subpoenaed the Justice Department for Epstein's records several weeks ago after some Republicans sided with Democrats to approve the subpoenas. The release came as soon as lawmakers pressed the Trump administration to disclose more information on the criminal probe into Epstein. Hours earlier, Republican Rep. Thomas Macy of Kentucky moved to force the House to vote on a bill requiring the Justice Department to publish its Epstein files within 30 days. What is scary, everyone says Cardi B's butt stinks because her BBL injections stayed open. Scared. Like, girl, feel sorry for you. Wow. The struggle is, it's a first world problems. Yeah. The Gauntlet panel subpoenaed the Justice Department for Epstein's records several weeks ago after some Republicans sided with Democrats to approve the subpoenas. The release came as soon as the lawmakers pressed the Trump administration to disclose more information on the criminal probe into the Epstein hours earlier. Republican Rep. Thomas Macy of Kentucky moved to force the House to vote on a bill requiring the Justice Department to publish its Epstein files within 30 days. Many of the documents were already in the public domain. Yeah, I wouldn't want to know what that smells like or be around that. And it sounds like, Miranda, it's almost fake, but it's true, unfortunately. Where, yeah, that's like the news that we get. There's places where, people are getting blown up and war going on, but over here, there's the BBL leak. Scared. You gotta get get Flex Seal to fix that up. The release came as some lawmakers pressed the Trump administration to disclose more information on a criminal probe into Epstein. Hours earlier, Okay, let's just go right here. Gauntlet panel subpoenaed the files, and Republicans sided with Democrats to approve subpoenas. Yeah, with the news and stuff, we don't always know what to believe. And I understand, like, you don't seem to like the attitude, the arrogance that some of these people will have. That's another thing I think is a turn off to people. Okay, the release came as soon as lawmakers pressed the Trump administration to disclose more information on the criminal probe into Epstein hours. Early Republican Rep. Thomas Macy of Kentucky moved to force the House to vote on bill requiring the Justice Department to publish its Epstein files within 30 days. Many of the documents were already in the public domain. Rand said, "Guys, I'm so sick out passing the gallstone in less pain, but getting chills and shaking, so if I pass out, I'll still be playing in the background. The fake versus half the news. Oh well, yeah. Okay, Miranda. Prayers for you that everything goes well, and thank you for letting us know what's going on. Miranda said the fake versus half the fake news. Oh well. All right. And GOP Rep Macy still pushing a bill to force more Epstein disclosure. Republican Rep Thomas Macy of Kentucky told reporters Tuesday to push. Yes, Miranda. Yes, I hope it does too. Republican Rep Thomas Macy of Kentucky told reporters Tuesday night his push to force the Justice Department to release more of the Epstein records still has support from members of both parties after tens of thousands of Epstein documents were made public by the House Oversight Committee. Macy and Democrat Rep. Kahana of California had introduced legislation that would require Justice Department to release its Epstein files within 30 days. Earlier Tuesday, Macy filed a discharge pension that would force the House to vote on the bill for if a majority of members sign on. A common maneuver for legislation that has some support for both parties but isn't backed by leadership. Macy argued late Tuesday that the latest release doesn't render his efforts moot, saying somebody needs to show us what's new in the documents. He also pointed out the press conference with Epstein survivors that planned for Wednesday morning. He also caused the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, a Louisiana Republican, engaging in an effort to keep the files from being released. Democrats say 97% of Epstein's docs were already public, but some flight records are new. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee said in a statement that 97% of the Epstein documents released Tuesday had already been made public by federal, state, or local authorities. Just 3% of the more than 33 pages were new, and the statement said, citing an initial review. Democrats in the House Oversight Committee said in a statement that 97% of Epstein's documents released today had already been made in public by federal and state authorities. Just 3% of more than the 33 pages were new in the state, citing initial review by Democratic lawmakers. Those news disclosures, including logs of flights on Epstein's private plane from 2000 to 2014 that were kept by Customs and Border Protection. According to Democrats, House Republicans are trying to make a spectacle of releasing already public documents. Art Garcia of California, top Democrat in the House Oversight Committee, said in a statement. Epstein flight records included in House's panel release. The trove of documents published on Tuesday include some records of flights on the Epstein's private jet, noting dates, times, and airports. That there are also few luggage inspection records. It is not clear that those records include any new information. Many records of Epstein's flight logs already in publicly available. Shout out to you, Bubbles. Some of the documents released by the House lawmakers date back to 20 years, covering an additional criminal investigation to Epstein's launched by local police in Palm Beach, Florida. That investigation controversially ended in a deal which Epstein pleaded guilty to state prosecution charges in exchange for Miami-based federal prosecutors promised not to bring charges. I know, Miranda, I agree. Yeah. Many of Epstein's documents include Tuesday's release appeared in already the public domain. Records include court papers that were filed in Justice Department's 2019 case against Epstein and its 2020 case against his associate Ghislaine Maxwell. No missing minute in new Epstein video released, plus previously unreleased video shows Epstein being escorted to make a call. When the Justice Department and FBI released nearly 11 hours of footage in July, the time code on the screen jumped forward 1 minute just before midnight, promoting questions about the 1 minute gap. The newly released video is not missing the minute between 11:59 p.m. and 12 a.m. In July, Attorney General Pam Bondi said minute of the footage was missing because the New York City jail's antiquated security cameras automatically cut out for 1 minute per night. That's really convenient, but a source told the authorities possessed a copy of the video that does not have a minute missing. Actually, it's 3 minutes that are missing. And where Epstein's cell was, a YouTuber did a documentation about it. There's a complete blind spot where and the cameras were glitchy and not working right, and the guards were sleeping and not really paying attention. And he's like way in a far corner, and there's a part of the video that was released where you see somebody faintly move, which is, you can't even, the footage you see is not his cell. It's just like it's like close to where his cell is. That's the thing. That footage of Epstein's, the footage from his prison, that was not even where he was. He was down the hallway, so you don't even see the hallway where he was on. And there's a faint figure moving. It could have been an inmate. It could have been a security guard or something. But yes, it moved slightly during that time, so no one knows who that person is. But yeah, it's really kind of like, what's going on? It's a little bit odd for it to be that way. A new video also shows previously unreleased footage from hours earlier of Epstein being brought up the stairs of the G-Tire detention center to make a phone call. All right. Like down the hallway in some other area, that's where it is. And Epstein can be seen behind the railing at a center in orange jail uniform. It seems shortly before the surveillance video released. All right, so that is Epstein, the orange guy right there. And that was the scene of him. The material released in 13 hours and 41 seconds of the video from the Metropolitan Correctional Center's Special Housing Unit from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m., August 9 to 10, 2019, where Epstein was found deleted in his cell. The 2 months ago, the Justice Department released a video from the same camera that only covered 7:40 p.m. to 6:40 a.m., period of time that is 2 hours shorter. The new video has different font on screen and appears more likely to be the raw output of the video. When federal officials originally released the jail video, they attested that it was raw footage, but the presence of the cursor on-screen menu raised questions about that. Video forensics told CBS those images indicated the video was likely a screen recording rather than an export directly from the DVR system. And that is possible, Miranda. I've not really heard about that theory of him being alive still. But that's interesting. It's very possible. I just don't know enough about the theory to talk about it. But it's something to look into. Now, Miranda, like, what have you heard about him being alive still? I'm curious if you've know about like some details about possibilities of him being alive, because I do think it could be possible that it could have been faked, and he's still somewhere, and they did it to clear him and everybody else that was involved. That's possible. So it's an interesting theory. Epstein files include documents, videos, and audio files. The records released by the House Oversight Committee appears to include a combination of videos, audio recordings, and text files, including emails and court documents. Some of the documents include redactions. It remains unclear whether the files contain any new information. Many files from the Justice Department investigations into Epstein, who was charged in 2019 but faced an earlier federal investigation in 2000s, has already been made public. I saw a drone picture of him on one of his islands. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I saw... Oh, okay. A thing for explanation. There was this YouTuber that raided the Epstein Island when it was heavily guarded. That was hilarious. Okay, Miranda, understood. And you take it easy, do whatever you have to do. Because I understand that that's not a good situation to be in. You know, because if you're feeling ill, yeah, just a thing for letting me know what's going on. House Democrats met with Epstein's victims ahead of the release. Prior to the release of the Epstein documents, Democrats on one of the House Oversight Committee, led by Robert Garcia of California, met with Epstein's accusers on Capitol Hill. Oh, okay, Miranda. Okay. It's possible. To get him off the hook, and then to clear the other people too, because he couldn't testify against them. Yeah, it's possible. Prior to the release of the Epstein documents, Democrats on the House Oversight Committee, led by Rep. Robert Garcia of California, met with Epstein's accusers on Capitol Hill. In a gaggle with reporters, members stress systematic government failures in the investigation into Epstein, and pledged to renew pressure from files and accountability. They described what one member called a cover-up of epic proportions, praised the accusers' coverage, and said some of the victims were telling their story publicly for the first time. About a month ago, we forced a video to subpoena the Department of Justice to release all the files associated with Epstein's case. Rep. Summer Lee of Pennsylvania told reporters, since we've seen only a trickle of papers, an attempt to obstruct justice, distract from what we are here to do. No one should be above the law, not princes, not elected officials, not wealthy billionaires, and everyone in the government itself that failed these women. House Oversight Committee releases the files in Epstein. Okay, we read that part. All right, so that is the update about Epstein. Five minutes ago, Gop Macy still pushing for bill to force more Epstein disclosure. Republican Thomas Macy of Kentucky told a reporter Tuesday night that his push to force the Justice Department to release more Epstein records still has support for the members of both parties after tens of thousands of Epstein documents were made public by the House Oversight Committee. Macy and Democratic Rep. Ko Kahana of California had introduced legislation that would require the Justice Department to release its Epstein files within 30 days. Earlier, Tuesday, Macy filed a discharge petition that would force the House to vote on the bill if the majority of members sign on. Common maneuver from legislation that has some support for both parties but isn't backed by leadership. Macy argued late Tuesday that the latest release doesn't render his efforts to moat, saying somebody needs to show what news is in these documents. He also pointed on a press conference with Epstein survivors that planned for Wednesday morning. He also accused the House Speaker Mike Johnson, Louisiana, trying to keep it from being released. Okay. Those are the updates. We're going to get into the Donna Adelson trial, what that was about. Hawaii's volcano erupts, shooting 330 feet from the crater. All right. I'm scared. Okay. Okay, here we go. I'm going to summarize one of the other trials that I looked at today. In a moment. All right. Hello, Moki. Welcome to the chat. And Moki, it was nice seeing you at the Cardi B trial. I'm glad that. I know there's a lot of spam and stuff in there, but I'm glad that I was glad to see you there. And I went over a review on the Cardi B trial, and some of the Epstein stuff was released. That's what I talked about previously. And now I'm going to do a summary about the Donna Adelson trial. Day 7 of the Donna Adelson trial, the defense began presenting its case by calling witnesses to counter the prosecution evidence. The court day was marked by defense's strategy to introduce the character witness and its own forensic analysts, which was met with the prosecution objections and ended early due to the sequestration issue. Miranda's in chat, but she was very thankful yesterday about the advice you gave her about the gallbladder. She said that's what it was, and she's thankful for your advice, Mookie. Defense attempts the acquittal. The day opened with defense filing motion for judgment of acquittal. It was boring today. Okay. I got there right a millisecond before it ended, because I got to talk to the chat for a couple of moments, but the stream was ended, so I was seeing a stream that was ended. Yes, Smokey, yes. And yeah, the stream was ended, but the chat was still there, so I got like the Twilight Zone. I was like, for a half a millisecond, I got there right before it completely shut off from YouTube. So I talked to some people in the chat briefly for a moment, but yeah, so it was boring today. I saw some parts of it, and I just couldn't really hear it that well because I was watching the other trial. So I kind of had an idea what was going on, but yeah, I remember Milky earlier with the Cardi B trial. The LC's chat was delayed, and usually Kathy Rusin says that it was. Usually she says it's because that's the rules of the courtroom, but these other streams and other news outlets, the news outlets were getting the verdict and stuff. And I'm glad that you explained that to me in chat today, so I can, for myself and others, to get the correct information. Because there's a lot of times people will say there's a verdict or something there isn't. So that was good to know. It had to do with the delay, and I was telling the chat what was going on, and it was quite wild. Yeah. And the attempt, Mogi said, in the end, showed a really long video of Donna in jail sitting by her jail daughter. It was weird and didn't help her in any way. It doesn't sound like it. I wouldn't think, because it was looking guilty before and is looking even more guilty. So that would certainly explain that situation where, yeah, that sounds weird, definitely. Bubbles is on my lap. Defense attempts acquittal. The day opened with defense filing motion for judgment of acquittal, arguing that the state had failed to provide the conspiracy case against Donna Allison. Her attorney, Josh Zellman, claimed that there was an absence of evidence linking Allison to a solicitation of the murder. Zellman stated that the prosecutors were relying on assumptions, including inferring that a supposed birthday gift was a euphemism for the murder. The judge denied the motion, which is rarely granted at the stage of a trial. The defense called several Donna Allison's friends and acquaintances to portray her in a positive light and explain her actions. Anne Elizabeth Cunningham, a long friend of Donna Allison, testified Allison was hysterical upon learning that Dan Markel's deletion and never expressed desire to harm him. During the cross-examination, she was questioned about Allison's behavior and potential bribes, with multiple objections for hearsay. Ron Gutterson, a friend of both Donna and her husband Harvey, tested that the couple had been hounded by media, and Donna had, considering self-deletion before, planned the fight. I was about to say fight into Vietnam, but it's flight to Vietnam. I was looking at some stuff. I researched Vietnam War a lot. I've done that for many years. And Yeah, I was re-watching something I saw before about it, and there's this tactic they used in that war where they had these ghost recordings of a creepy like Buddhist funeral, and these ghostly howls that would haunt the woods. I mean, haunt the jungles. And try to convince the Viet Cong to leave their post. And when they would go to leave their post, they were trying. That's they're doing psychological warfare. But what actually happened was 150 people left their post. A couple of them just shot in the direction of the ghost sounds. But it was good because it showed where the enemy was for the Americans to attack it. Not that the Viet Cong necessarily were enemies of the United States homeland, but the time of the war of the enemy of the war. And the also helicopters played it. And when you have those very loud helicopters blaring this information, this recordings. Oh, Joe, good to see you, buddy. Spectre gunship audio weapons. Oh, okay. Thank you. Randus says hello to Moki. And yeah, and it was very eerie. And people are like saying in the chat, they always say in every single time that video is uploaded or shown, like, why in the world is this video in the woods? Like, if you're in the woods or in the jungle, it would be very unsettling to hear that. And yeah, I can, like, someone's like in a jungle in a war in the middle of the night and they hear that, it's not the most settling thing to hear. But the helicopters, the sound of a helicopter would be heard, so they're going to think it's coming from a helicopter. But sometimes it would have soldiers with it on their backpack, on their, and they would be blurring it that way. Like with a loudspeaker. A digital forensics expert's Kelsey Gue was called by the defense to challenge the prosecution's evidence. Gue reviewed the data used by the state's forensics expert in Cobert, said they testified that the government report may have used inflated data to make its case. The day ended unexpectedly early to a violation of the rules sequestered with witnesses remain outside the courtroom to prevent from hearing others' testimony. The witness and defense was improperly allowed into the gallery and present during the portion of another witness's testimony. The judge ordered an early recess to determine the witness would be allowed to testify. The jail video from Bernhardt. The defense also played surveillance video showing Adelson's former friend, June Bernhardt, at the jail. The video showed Donna Adelson giving Bernhardt a script in her own handwriting to review before her testimony. Interesting. Assistant State Attorney Georgia Kaplan elicited testimony that Adelson instructed Bernhardt to copy the script and return to her. The remaining questions, day's events left open question of whether Donna Adelson herself will take the stand in her own defense. The testimony is expected to continue Wednesday. Miranda says to Moki, "Hello, all, and Moki, were you the one who said that you thought my gallbladder might be going bad because I found out it's true yesterday and it's still trying to pass the stone?" But when I told Moki about that, Miranda, and her response was, "Oh wow, glad she got that checked out." But she could, of course, say her response whenever she's ready. All right. Now, so everybody coming in, there in the Cardi B trial, it was a she was acquitted of the charges. There are diverse opinions about it, and there's more. Thousands of files from the Epstein files were released. Thousands of documents from it were released, and new information. Hello, Kay. Good to see you, buddy. Welcome. Brandon said, I took some painkillers and the chills, and now, okay, thanks, Alien, for letting me know. You let her know. Yes. Yeah, Kay, and everybody, Epstein, in the Epstein files, many information was released. And they say most of it was already in public domain. So it wasn't like new information, but something was released today. And they had a conference with the victims of Epstein's victims. They had some pictures of him inside the jail. There was some additional information that came out. Cardi B was acquitted of all charges. In the trial chat that Moki and I were at, the group, for some reason, has these rules where it's delayed. It was delayed. Now, with the delayed stream, so what that means is when you have, like, we're watching the Verdict Watch, and then other channels and other, what you would call news outlets, they're news outlets like NBC and stuff like that, it was delayed, right? But these other ones already was having all this information coming out. So Moki was telling what was going on and explained to me why there were people were talking about a verdict. Now what has to occur is it would be nice to have it in live time, but I did inform everybody what was going on in the chat, and everyone else collectively looked the information up too. And I'm thankful for Moki's assistance always, and with that, any other people's assistance in the chat. We all work together as a team. And she was talking about countersuing, and people could have, variety of different opinions about Cardi B. So, colorful opinions about her. The Epstein information was released. So not everything, but a lot of stuff was released. And about probably the Donna Adelson trial, she's taking a giant leap. The cross will be brutal for her most times. Maybe the Cardi B trial he's talking about, I'm not too sure. Then works against her to testify. Okay, Joe, thank you for your take on it. Okay, Miranda says, Moki, it also runs in mine. My mom has hers, but had the attacks, and my aunt has hers removed. Miranda said, from me, I haven't ran to the ER yet because the stabbing pain stone. But if I had to go, I'm waiting to see if it passes. Okay, Miranda, thank you for keeping us updated. And prayers for you. Oh. Okay, and turn the porch light on. Okay. Alright, this cat wants to be petted. Okay, and she said it feels hellish. Scared. Yeah, the Sheen gallbladder, or the Timu Sheen gallbladders, certainly sound painful to deal with. At this point, the city would have been flooded 20 years ago still, until the 14th of this month. Yeah, and Joe was saying, yeah, about Donna. Yeah, he was talking about Donna Adelson. That's what I thought. Joe said, referencing Donna taking the stand in her defense, sometimes it is the one thing that helps, but often it can seal a prosecution's case. Yeah, gallstones. How do you know? I don't know much about gallstones, so to give some context about that, let's see what that's about. I've heard about this before. I've heard about this before. A doctor, when I was at the doctor's 10 years ago, or 11 years ago, when I was getting a checkup, they were, the nurse was telling us that her son had it, and it caused, and he had to get it taken out. Case said, TBH, I don't know anything about Donna Case. I hear you peeps talking about it, but I'm not familiar with it. I'll explain it to you, Kay, in a moment. And Miranda says, I just learned myself gallbladders create bile and they can get clogged with gallstones, and also everyone passes them, but mostly women suffer from them. Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks for your info. Miranda said, most folks do not feel passing of the gallstones, but I guess everyone has them. Joe says the gallbladder is essential organ metabolism and bile creation, but it can hold stones. Okay, thank you, Jack. Gallstones are hardened deposits of digestive fluid that form in the gallbladder, a small organ located beneath the liver that can be as tiny as a grain of sand or as large as a golf ball, and many people have them without experiencing any symptoms. However, if a gallstone blocks one of the bile ducts, it can cause severe pain and require medical treatment. Miranda said, Joe, I don't want to remove my gallbladder because I have very low blood pressure and need bile, but it's a misery." Yeah. All right. And symptoms. Most gallstones are silent. Oh, and Miranda, that I hope that it passes. And I understand about the low blood pressure thing. And whatever happens, in my opinion, it's all going to be okay in the long term. Miranda said, "This is the first for me, but it's genetic." Yeah, yeah. Sometimes things we pass through families, and things can be hereditary. They, there's mental conditions that could be hereditary. There's even alcoholism and stuff like that could be hereditary, and things like this could be hereditary. So yeah, it's something, unfortunately, but everybody, it's like they say, like everyone has a cross to bear, and yeah, it is. Shout out to the people that are going through that. Very strong to keep going. And it's good for people to step forward and talk about what's going on and get help from others. It's always good. That's why one thing about the internet I think is good, in spite of the negative things about it, we could all communicate online and talk. My mother had have hers operated on. Elastic techniques today are very successful today. I wish you all the recovery. That's very nice of you, Joe, to wish that for her, Miranda. And I think it's passing through because the pain is stopping more and more. Oh, Miranda, yeah, just keep drinking water, fluids, and it should go. It should pass. Miranda said, Joe, thank you. I hope I don't have to go there, but I will go there. And I abused liquor and paid a high price now. Yeah. And, failure is the greatest teacher. And now you know, and we also would know, to that now, if there's sayings that live each day as if it were your last and treat your body as if you're going to live forever. So that's important for everybody to know. And there's still time left. There's still for people to choose better choices and to recover. And I'm just hoping I heal. If it doesn't work out reversed, I'm heading to the ER. Okay, Miranda. Most people pass them, so yeah, maybe mom passed hers, but she's almost went to the ER too. Oh, okay. Okay. Understood. Well, I'm sorry. I feel very bad about y'all had to suffer through that. Yeah, Marina said, no longer drink every night. It's sad. It's all genetic. Yeah. And sometimes, life will hit you in the head with a brick. And sometimes it's a bitter tasting medicine that the patient needs. And things like this can be God showing us a sign of a turning point for us to choose a better path if we're on the wrong path. So I'm glad that you see that the excessive alcohol was not the best action for the body. Now, my father, for instance, has issues with his liver because of what he did with his life, with the excessive drinking. And not being, responsible with his body, but he's still there. He's still alive. And he's put his body through a lot. Of course, his mental state may not be the best, but never was really the best actually. But yeah, so, and he's a senior citizen, so Miranda, there's still plenty of time for you, in the long term. I never knew about all this stuff. I'll tell my daughter, LL, this is hell. Yeah, and shout out to Moki and Chat for helping out Miranda and helping each other. I really appreciate y'all very much. Kay says, hint, don't take any pills, any medication prescribed by today's doctors. All they do is poison you. Kay, I have heard of that, and I've had experiences with I remember when they thought I had the ADHD, I was on some medicine about that, and it did not really help me. It made me paranoid, and it made me feel like I was going to be sick or something. But I was just like, I'm going to be how I am and discipline myself to do what must be done. And that was much better for me. Not saying people shouldn't take medicines, of course, and psychological medicines. It depends on the circumstances, in my opinion. Everybody's situation is different. But my situation, I was just me, and that was great. And here I am. It was just about focusing, but a lot of people don't want to focus on things like work and schoolwork and stuff, but sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do. And yeah, very true, Kay. Very true, Kay. I hope so. Hopefully with a diet change you can make a full recovery and not be in pain. Very good advice. Thanks, Joe. I really hope so. I changed my diet immediately and trying to rest, Tylenol, and water. Yeah, that type of stuff is fine. And I'm glad that you're doing that, Miranda, because water clears out your system of all intoxicants. It clears you out and it cleanses you. I mostly drink only water. And I've not drank tea or coffee in a very long time, but I drink that too. So yeah, I mostly drink water. You take one pill to do one thing, and then that pill makes you take another pill to counter the other pill. Then you have to take another pill to counteract other two pills, etc. Yeah, for instance, from Walk the Line, Johnny Cash, a notorious country singer, a classic country singer, he took pill. He was with in the movie. They depict him with Elvis and popping pills to make you feel speedy. Like, for instance, I can understand what it's like to be exhausted and tired with different things, but I don't take any drugs or medicines. I just go by my sheer will. Not that I'm better than anybody else. It takes a lot of discipline, and I'm not perfect. I'm still work in progress. But yeah, like say a rock star is needs a lot of something like speed to speed them up, and then they need alcohol and some opiates to calm them down to help them sleep, and they go through a deadly cycle. Like say with Johnny Depp, for instance, he has issues with drugs, or he had issues with drugs, and I don't think he was abusing Amber Heard like to the extent that she was claiming at all. But yeah, like that, the drugs weren't really good for him, and I think she took some drugs too, in my opinion. I think that was confirmed, but I don't have any documentation to really confirm that at the moment. But yeah, so even he had issues with it, and it's just best for people to stay away from that stuff. And oh yeah, Johnny Cash is awesome. Yeah, Joe said it's a delicate balance. Remember, there is no money in a cure, only in treatments. Yeah, that's true, especially with cancer and stuff like that. Not that I'm saying I don't know what they have or don't have, but yeah, I remember they would have this thing for free dress at my school. You would donate $5 for cancer, breast cancer, which is breast cancer very important for that to be cured and for those people to be cared for. I don't have any problem with donating to that. And I remember every single time it's like we're donating this money for breast cancer to be cured, but they just haven't found a cure yet. With all the technology and AI, we just haven't found a cure yet. You know, I don't know. It's I'm not a doctor, but there's people that are nurses and stuff that told me that there is probably a cure and they just don't tell us. Now, the funny mustache man, the Austrian painter, people want to call him the German leader of that time, allegedly found a cure to cancer because his mother had breast cancer and he was trying to find a cure for it. And he found some cure for it, but I didn't like look into what that was exactly. Blueberries allegedly help prevent or help with cancer, but as I said, I do think there is money in cures and there's more money in treatments instead of cures. Thank you, Kay. Really nice of you to say. Miranda said the gallbladder is contacted to the liver and pancreas, so it's very scary. Yeah. Scared. Miranda, all of those internal organs are connected. Joe said amino acids, building blocks, T, and B cells help us recover from internal damage. Pain areas. The pain may radiate to your right shoulder or your back between the shoulder blades. Nausea and vomiting. These are common symptoms during the gallbladder attack. Jaundice. A yellowing the skin and eyes that indicates the bile duct blockage. And fever and chills. These can signal a serious infliction or inflammation. Clay colored stools and dark urine. These are also signs of bile duct blockage. Let me Google the amino acids foods. Thank you. Ah, yes. I'm going to look it up myself because I'm curious. Don't Google anything. You'll be lied to. Search on DuckDuckGo instead. And CoQ10 is also having a great results on healthy and healing. DuckDuckGo is a private search engine for like people that want to have anonymous searches that isn't like say Google has tracking devices and cookies and stuff. It's more of a privacy and allegedly more of a free speech type, not free speech, but like a more of a less biased view of things, something like that. Yeah, here I'll give you an example right here. All right, so this is DuckDuckGo right here. All right, this is the AI DuckDuckGo right there. You have different ones. And for instance, and it says Chat GPT-4. That's what they use. And then you have regular DuckDuckGo right here. So, for instance, we're about data protection, not data collection. So, and that's the logo of DuckDuckGo right here, right there. So, I'll just read you about what DuckDuckGo is. All right. We're the independent, free browser that actively protects your personal information. With DuckDuckGo, you can search and browse privately with YouTube with fewer ads and keep your information to yourself away from hackers, scammers, and privacy-invasive companies. I saw millions of people choose DuckDuckGo over Chrome and other browsers. They're giving me like an ad. That's what they're doing. And monthly searches, 3 billion. Monthly downloads, 9 million. Take control of your personal information. The DuckDuckGo browser is designed for data protection, not data collection. Our browsing protections, such as ad tracker blocking and cookie blocking, help stop your data from being collected. Our built-in search engines never track searches, available in Mac, Windows, and iOS and Android. And they also don't have an agenda. They don't have an agenda. Example of a search from DuckDuckGo. Yeah, so that is. All right. All right, here we go. Foods rich in amino acids include meat, fish, eggs, and dairy products. Go on. Okay, foods and amino acids. Or we're gonna ask Google and we're gonna ask DuckDuckGo. Okay, so this is DuckDuckGo right here. Foods rich in amino acids include meat, fish, dairy products, and certain plant sources like quinoa, soy, and legumes. These foods provide essential amino acids that your body can produce on its own. Amino acids are essential for various bodily functions, and you can obtain from various foods. Here's a breakdown of food sources of both essential and non-essential amino acids. These amino acids must be obtained through diet, and body cannot produce them. The 9 essential amino acids and their food sources include: okay, and Joe says oxidative sensors do the most harm to our bodies. Inflammation is known number one cause of disease. Thank you, buddy. Scared. All right, the amino acid food. Histidine is in meat, chicken, fish, and soybeans and oats. I'm pronouncing these wrong, by the way, probably. Isoleucine. Beef, chicken, pork, fish, lentils, and tofu. Leucine. Beef, chicken, lamb, nuts, and beans. Lysine. Red meat, fish, dairy, legumes. And methionine is in eggs, fish, nuts, beans, and soy. Phenylalanine. No, phenylalanine. Meat, fish, eggs, dairy, and products. And soy products. Oh, okay, Miranda. Okay, understood. Yeah, it's good to say. Okay, something lighter would be better because beans can be heavy. So, a more of a lighter food would be better if you're feeling sick. I like rice too. Theronine. Meat, dairy, beans, and nuts. Tryptophan. Turkey, chicken, dairy, nuts, and seeds. Valine. Meat, dairy, soybeans, and nuts. These non-essential amino acids, these amino acids can produce by the body. They are found in various foods. Non-essential amino acids: align, algreen, asparaginine, aspartic acid, cystatin, and a couple more: thyrosine, serine, proline, and glycine. Complete proteins: foods that contain all 9 essential amino acids. Examples include meat, fish, eggs, and soy products. Incomplete protein: foods that lack one or more essential amino acids, such as most plant-based foods. Combining different plant sources can help achieve complete amino profile. Now Google gives a little bit more, gives some more of a little bit of an explanation here. All right. Joe says even psychological stress produces histamine and cortisol to course through our bloodstream, which amino acid production, our mitochondria production from our liver, which harms immunity. I like to pretend my farts don't stink, but actually they do. Yeah, scared. Scared. Amino acids are building blocks of protein, and they are obtained through the food you eat. There are 20 different amino acids that your body needs to function properly. While your body can produce 11 of these on its own, 9 are considered essential and must come from your diet. Foods are categorized as complete proteins if they contain all 9 essential amino acids, and incomplete proteins if they are missing one or more. Complete protein foods. These foods are considered a complete protein sources because they contain all 9 essential amino acids. Animal products: meat, beef, and pork. So meat, it's beef and pork. Poultry, chicken, and turkey. Fish and seafood. Eggs, dairy, milk, cheese, and yogurt. Plant-based products: quinoa, buckwheat, soy products, tofu, tempeh, and edamame, edamame, hemp seeds, and chia seeds. Incomplete protein foods. All right, these most plant-based protein sources are considered incomplete, but you can still get essential amino acids by eating variety of them throughout the day. Incomplete proteins can be paired to make a complete protein, such as grains, whole grains, wheat, rice, and oats, nuts, seeds, almonds, cashews, pumpkin seeds, etc. Legumes, beans, peas, and lentils, and peanuts. Vegetables, while generally lower in protein, many vegetables contribute to your overall amino acid intake. I love omelets, also. Creating complementary protein combinations. For those on a vegetarian or vegan diet, combining different incomplete proteins can ensure complete amino acid intake over the course of a day. Examples of complement, complementary pairings include beans and rice, peanut butter on a whole wheat bread, hummus with pita bread. So if someone's vegetarian or a meat eater, those are their options. And we're going to look more into this. Okay. Okay, Miranda, understood. Take you take a break if you need to, if you're listening. You know, understood. Foods that lack healthy amino acid. Instead of lacking healthy amino acids, many foods are classified as incomplete proteins because they are low in one or more of the 9 essential amino acids. The following foods can lower concentration of one or more essential amino acids compared to complete proteins like meat, eggs, and soy. Many grains are typically low in essential amino acids. Lysine. Example: oats, rice, corn, wheat, and barley. How to compensate: pairing grains with complete protein like legume legumes can provide complete amino acid profile. For example, the classic combination of rice and beans works well. Nuts and seeds. While packed with healthy fats, fiber, and protein, most nuts and seeds are incomplete proteins, often lacking or being low in lysine. Examples is almonds, cashews, pecans, and sunflower seeds. Joe says, we are omnivorous. It is very important you eat correctly. If you are on a strict diet or herbivore diet, many of the foods in America aren't nutritionally substantial today. Many preservatives used harm us. I agree. Yeah, definitely. How to compensate? Combining nuts, seeds with legumes, such as a salad with chickpeas and pumpkin seeds, can provide all essential amino acids. Kay said, I made chili tonight. It's got beef, onion, tomato, sausage, and mushroom, garlic, beans, tomatoes. It's yummy. Oh, that's delicious. I ate chili for lunch. Legumes are typically low in essential amino acids and methenine. Example: beans, peas, and lentils and peanuts. However, compensate pairing legumes with grains, nuts, or seeds, such as hummus and pita bread, can create a complete protein. Most vegetables, through nutrition, have incomplete protein profiles. They can be low in the amino acid methionine. Examples: leafy greens, broccoli, and mushrooms. How to compensate? Incorporating grains, nuts, and seeds into meal with vegetables like pasta salad with kidney beans can round out the amino acid intake. While generally considered a complete, in some animal products are incomplete proteins, the collagen, this protein found in collective tissue, is missing the essential amino acid tryptophan. All right. See, why are mushrooms healthy? Mushrooms are healthy due to their unique combination of low calories, nutrient rich antioxidant properties, often called superfood. They offer a diverse array of vitamins, minerals, and bioactive compounds that support everything from immune system to brain health. Some people put pasta in their chili. Those people should be kicked off the planet, as they are, if your discretion advised, they are whores. Pasta does not belong in chili. I've never heard of that in my life. I agree. I didn't. I've never heard of that in my life. People combining that together. Scared. Mushrooms are naturally low in fat and sodium and calories while offering a significant amount of beneficial nutrients. Their nutritional highly include vitamins, good source of riboflavin, B2, niacin, and pantothenic acid. The B5, which helps provide energy by covering food into fuel, converting food into fuel. Yes, they are. And Case said that he's kidding. I'm just kidding. If you like pasta in your chili, it's okay. I personally, I've never heard of that. People could do that, but I don't know what that would even taste like. Different strokes are different folks, but yeah, I don't know. I've not heard that one. Mushrooms are mushrooms are naturally low in fat, sodium, and calories, while offering significant amount of beneficial nutrients. Their nutritional heights include B vitamins, good sources of riboflavin, niacin, and pantothenic acid, which help provide energy by converting food into fuel. Potassium. This mineral is important for heart, muscle, and nerve function and helps regulate blood pressure. Assign a single cup of cooked portobello mushroom contains more potassium than bananas. And Moki says chin Cincinnati chili is served over spaghetti. It's delicious. Okay, Moki, I'll have to try that one day. Thank you. Over spaghetti, that sounds pretty good. But I'm thinking of other types of pasta. I wasn't thinking of spaghetti specifically, but I'll have to try that, Moki. I've never heard of it. All right, vitamin B vitamins, good sources of riboflavin and pantothenic acid, which help provide energy by converting food into fuel. Potassium. This mineral is important for heart, muscle, and nerve function and helps regulate blood pressure. A single cup of cooked portobello mushrooms contains more potassium than banana. Selenium, antioxidant that protects the body's cell from damage, supports the immune system. Mushrooms are one of the best sources of selenium and produce ISIL. Joe said, mycelium is an amazing system. They've developed it, communicates and transfers nutrients between fruiting bodies. Okay, thank you, Joe. Vitamin D, when exposed to ultraviolet UV light, mushrooms can produce vitamin D, a nutrient vital for bone health and immune function that is difficult to get from most plant based foods. Antioxidant and anti inflammatory properties. Mushrooms contain powerful antioxidants that protect the body from oxidative stress, a process that can lead to chronic diseases. Ergothioneine and glutathione, though these two powerful antioxidants are abundant in mushrooms and help protect cells from damage, researchers have even revered ergothioneine as a longevity nutrient. Anti-inflammatory effects of these antioxidants contribute to the anti-inflammatory effects of mushrooms, which can help reduce chronic inflammation linked to conditions like cardiovascular disease, cancers, and arthritis. Promotes healthy gut. The high fiber content in mushrooms, particularly a type called beta glucans, acts as a prebiotic. This means nourishes the good bacteria in your gut, promoting a healthier and more diverse gut microbe, which is linked to better digestion, overall health. Boost immune function. Certain compounds in mushrooms, such as polyashtrids, and beta glucans have been shown to enhance the immune system's ineffectiveness. This can help simulate the active immune cells like macrophages, allowing your body to fight off foreign invaders more efficiently. Regular mushroom consumption has been linked to better brain function and reduced risk of cognitive decline, brain health. The B vitamins and antioxidants in mushrooms support neurotransmitter functions and may offer protection against neurodivergent diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, heart health. Combination of potassium, antioxidants, and fiber help prevent plaque buildup in arteries, manage cholesterol, and lower blood pressure. All right, that's some fun facts on mushrooms. The edible mushrooms, not the hallucinogenic. All right, the Donna Adelson case explained for K. Donna Adelson. Okay, so the Donna Adelson case revolves around the 2014 murder for hire of her former son-in-law, Florida State University law professor Dan Markel. Prosecutors alleged that Adelson was the matriarch mastermind behind the plot to delete Markel, who was in a bitter custody dispute with her daughter, Wendy Adelson. The case is built primarily on circumstantial evidence. Acrimonious divorce. Wendy Adelson filed for divorce from Dan Markel in 2012, initiating a bitter and public custody battle over their two young sons. Wendy relocation efforts. Wendy Adelson wanted to move the children from Tallahassee to South Florida to be closer to her family, a move that Markel legally opposed. Oh, understood. So, going over it another time, is that Donna Adelson case revolves around the 2014 murder for hire for her former son-in-law, Florida State University law professor Dan Markel. Prosecutors allege that Adelson was the matriarch mastermind behind the plot to delete Markel, who was in a bitter custody dispute with her daughter, Wendy Adelson. The case is built primarily on circumstantial evidence. Acrimonious divorce. Wendy Adelson filed for divorce from Dan Markel in 2012, initiating a bitter and public custody battle over their two young sons. Wendy's relocation efforts. Wendy Adelson wanted to move the children from Tallahassee to South Florida to be closer to her family, a move that Markel legally opposed. Family influence. According to the prosecution, Dana Adelson was obsessed with securing Wendy's relocation, exerted heavily influenced over the children's lives. Her emails contained disparaging remarks about Markle, whom she referred to as the asshole, bastard, and religious zealot. Exactly, Joe. Legal filings. Shortly before the murder, Markle filed a motion to prevent Donna Adelson from having unsupervised time with the children. Oh, hello, show. Oh, good to see you. Welcome. to the stream with children, alleging that she made disparaging remarks about him to them. The murder and subsequent arrests. The hitman Markle was shot in his garage on July 18, 2014. Authorities identified hired hitmen as Sergfordo Garcia, who pulled the tiger, not the tiger, but pulled the trigger at Luis Rivera, and the driver and the middleman Garcia and Rivera were hired by Catherine Magbenua, who was dating Donna Adelson's son at the time. Oh, Roxy, it's been a while since I've seen you. Good evening. Adelson's family connection. Prosecutors claim that Charlie Adelson paid Magbenua that the conspiracy to have Markle deleted organized his mother, Donna. Thank you, Kay. Other convictions. Garcia, Rivera, and Magbenua and Charlie Adelson have been convicted and sentenced to prison for their roles in the murder. Since there is no direct evidence linking Donna Adelson to the hitman, the prosecution's case relies on a web of circumstantial evidence. The bump and coded language. In 2016, an undercover FBI agent posed as a blackmailer confronted Donna Adelson, demanding $5,000 in connection with the murder. During the subsequent interception phone calls, where Charlie Donna referred to a TV costing $5,000, which prosecutors interpreted as coded language. She also stated that the issue had to do with the both of us, implicating both herself and Charlie. Jailhouse informant testimony. 2 inmates who were incarcerated with Donna Adelson testified that she confessed to her involvement and asked them to lie on her behalf. She allegedly offered one informant money to property to falsify the testify about an extortion plot involving Magbenua. Joe, I agree. Yes. Handwritten notes. One of the informant provided investigations with a handwritten script. She said Adelson gave her to study. Forensic analysts confirmed the handwriting was Adelson's. Wendy Adelson's emails. A Tallahassee police investigator testified the email showed Donna Adelson extensive involvement in Wendy's divorce proceedings, with Donna providing Wendy with material for her lawyer and plotting was ways to upset Markle. The wash money. Catherine Magbenua testified that Charlie told her the cash at her for the hitman was damp and moldy because his mother Donna had washed it. This suggests an attempt to conceal its origins. The TV gift. One of the day of the murder, Donna arranged a TV repair appointment for Wendy. This occurred after Charlie had previously joked about how it would be cheaper to buy Wendy a TV as a divorce gift than hire a hitman. Scared. The flight attempt. 1 week after Charlie's conviction in 23, Donna and her husband, Harvey Allison, booked one-way tickets to Vietnam, a country with no extradition treaty with the U.S. She was arrested at the airport before she could board the plane. Yeah, she could, Roxy. That was funny. Yeah. Yeah, video was priceless. Definitely. The defense argues that Donna Allison is an innocent victim who was manipulated by her son, Charlie. Charlie's extortion story. The defense relies on Charlie's claim that he was being extorted by Mag Benua and the hitmen, and that Donna was only trying to protect her family. Circumstantial evidence, Adelson's attorneys emphasize that there is no direct evidence that Donna planned or paid for the murder. Interpretation of evidence. The defense has challenged the prosecution's interpretation of coded conversations and presented character witness to portray Donna as a loving but distressed by mother. Family betrayal. Donna's estranged son, Robert, and daughter, Wendy, had testified against her. Wendy, however, maintains her innocence and denies knowledge of the conspiracy. People fall apart, but it's not excuse to make things ugly and civil evil. Civility in the mind, midst of turmoil, for sanity for everyone involved. Amen, Joe. Very well said. A lot of people go with their emotions, and like people go with their emotional anger and not think of the consequences. And if you want revenge on somebody, nothing wrong with having anger. You could use that motivation for something positive for yourself and others. But you have to dig a grave for two people if you want revenge in that moment. And that's what happens. The two people get deleted, or more people get deleted. All these people being arrested and incarcerated is not going to save anybody or bring anybody back. Like Ted Bundy said in his final interview, deleting him won't bring anybody back. That's true. But it's just a sad situation. You have to dig a grave for two people. As the idiom goes, that, you delete this person and you have to go to. Because it's only going to destroy yourself. Robert is the only good person of the Adelson family. Ah, yes. Thanks, Roxy, for your take on it. Right, and I think there's a chain reaction when events like this occur. And you'll have, like, compassion could cause a chain reaction, and also hate and vengeance could cause a chain reaction, and it's only going to cause a domino effect and more people to suffer. And if they did like an eye for everybody, everybody would be blind. So, and I'm not perfect, no one is. It's important to practice what you preach. And yeah, that's why I think that these extents of these trials are very insane. Why these people did not understand those concepts, and people could stay away from people that cause them a problem. They can forgive and love someone from a distance. They don't have to talk to somebody again. They don't have to be involved with other people. They can use legal ways of trying to see their, like, for instance, she could have seen her grandchildren later. She could have gone and seen them herself. Like, people can do all kinds of things, but resulting to murder and these sadistic ways of revenge is not right. Because it's only going to last for a moment and then it runs out and you are where you are. I like Star Wars, and it does have to do with like space and aliens and stuff like that. For instance, Jedi Order was not 100% correct with what it was doing. It needed reform, but the things Anakin did only caused him more problems and eventually became like a robot thing. It was necessary to bring balance to the Force later, but in that story, but you'd see it just was a downward spiral, and then the Jedi not understanding his position and being dogmatic. So yeah, it's important to have this type of to think before he speaks, as they say, and to not go by the emotions, because those that anger you can control you and will only lead to more destruction of yourself. It just depends on the situation. Self-defense is okay. Done properly is fine. But situations like this completely led to more destruction of everybody. It just destroys everybody. Kind of like a nuclear war would be mutual destruction of humanity. Grasping onto the hot coals you burnt, sometimes collateral damage follows as well. Yes, I've heard of that before. Yes. You could go throw it at somebody, but you burn yourself in the process. Exactly. Yeah, that is my philosophy, and that's what I certainly think. And people need to understand that concept. But a lot of people don't do that, and people are in the emotional moment. They're not thinking in the long term. So very good, Joe. Very good. Now, this dish that Moki brought up to me, which I've never heard of before, because I've never heard of this type of concept I'm going to read about, is the Cincinnati chili is traditionally served over a bed of spaghetti, a practice that is central to the dish's identity. It is a thin Mediterranean spiced meat sauce, not a thick stew like chili con carne, which is why it works as well as the sauce for pasta. The way system. The layered dish ordered using a unique numbering system. Oh, you make it for your family. Oh, I'm sure it's delicious. I I envy them that they get to have to get to eat that and from you. I'm sure it's very delicious. And I've never heard of this in my life. The layered dish is ordered using a unique numbering system called ways. Each number indicates the addition of a new ingredient on top of the base of spaghetti and chili. The two-way, the basic dish of spaghetti topped with Cincinnati chili. Three-way adds a generous mound of finely shredded cheddar cheese on top of the chili spaghetti. Four-way include chili spaghetti and cheese plus either diced onions or kidney beans. Five-way, the whole shebang consisting of spaghetti, chili, cheese, onions, and beans. It's sweet chili. Some versions have chocolate in it. Chocolate in it too. That sounds very interesting. I like the dish. It's truly thinking different and pushing boundaries. And it's essential to think different. I like that. I'm sure that's very delicious. I just never thought of that before. That's why the human mind can be very bad, like we see in these trials, or be very good and think of these creative things. Serving and eating traditions. Tradition extends to how the dish is eaten, with locals often using a fork to cut through all the layers of a balanced bite. Rather than twirling the spaghetti, oyster crackers and a bottle of hot sauce also stands to standard accomplishments. Origins of the tradition. Their tradition dates back to 1920s with Macedonian immigrants in Cincinnati who adapted a traditional stew with Mediterranean spices. They began serving the spice meat sauce over hot dogs and eventually over spaghetti, creating the regional icon known today. It has allspice in it, which is really gives it its flavor. Oh, okay, I gotta see what this looks like. I like that. I like that. And yeah, that very eclectic. It looks like a hamburger. Like the way that this is like made, it looks like a giant hamburger with cheese. Right. Yeah, that's really cool. And there's some beans in it. And you have this. And you have that. Very delicious. It's not hard to make, but it's a lot of different spices. I like spices. Where I come from, that's where the spices are in. So I've never heard of this in my life. Thank you, Thank you, Moki. I don't even know what allspice is. Oh, he says the restaurant that started it is called Skyline. I think you can order Skyline chili online. Oh, thank you for the info. Okay. Allspice is a single distinctive spice made from the dried, unripe berries of the Pimenta dioica tree, an evergreen native to the Caribbean. Despite its name, it's not a blend of other spices. The English term allspice is the 17th century because its flavor and aroma remind them of a combination of cloves, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Flavor profile. Varieties allspice has a warm, woody, and slightly peppery flavor. The flavor is primarily due to the compound eugenol, also found in cloves. Whole berries look like large peppercorns when dried, then are best for slow cooked dishes like stews, marinades, and pickling brines, where their flavor can infuse over time. Ground, a finely ground powder with the more intense flavor. It is commonly used in baking dry rubs and spice blends. Freshly ground holly berries have been more potent aroma than pre-ground allspice. The restaurant that started called okay, it has allspice cloves and cinnamon. I don't know what allspice was either until I made this. My dad loves it, and we can't get it out of here, so I make it for him. Aw, that's very sweet. It's very good you do that for him. Culinary uses. Allspice is a versatile spice used in wide range of both savory and sweet dishes. Caribbean cuisine. A key ingredient in Jamaican jerky seasoning and is used in stews and curries and sauces. American cuisine, a staple in the holiday baking for pumpkin pie, gingerbread, and spice cookies. It is also one of the four key ingredients in the Cincinnati chili. European cuisine, used in British Christmas puddings, German sausages, and other spiced holiday foods. Middle Eastern cuisine, used to season meat dishes and stews. If you don't have allspice, you can create a similar flavor profile by blending other common spices. Interesting. DIY blend. A common substitute for 1 teaspoon of ground allspice is a mixture of a half a teaspoon ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon ground nutmeg, and half a teaspoon ground cloves. Individual spices, you can use ground cloves, nutmeg, or cinnamon individually, but use them sparingly as their flavors are much more distinct and can overpower a dish. Pumpkin pie spice. The blend contains allspice, cinnamon, nutmeg, and can be used as a substitute in recipes. Okay, Moki, thank you. I didn't know. I'm right by the Caribbean, and I never heard of this. All right, I've probably eaten it before and just don't remember. I'm sure it's like in the. I'm sure. Okay, I think I've eaten this before. I think literally over there, there's a jar of this, but I don't have to look into that. Thanks. And this other one, Skyline Chili. All right, the Skyline Chili is a Cincinnati-based restaurant chain, famously for unique for its take on chili, which is thin, sweet, and spiced with Mediterranean flavors like cinnamon and allspice. It is a quintessential example of Cincinnati-style chili, traditionally served over spaghetti or hot dogs with distinctive layering system. Flavor profile. Unlike typical American chili, which is thick and bold with chili powder, Skyline's chili has a smoother, sweeter, and more complex flavor. Its signature taste comes from a mix of spices including cinnamon and nutmeg, allspice, and a hint of coca. Consistency. The texture is more like a meat sauce or gravy rather than a chunky stew. This allows it to work for perfectly as topping for spaghetti. Serving styles. Cincinnati chili includes Skyline is famously served according to a numerical system called ways. 2 ways. Chili over a bed of spaghetti. 3 ways. Chili spaghetti topped with a large mound of shredded cheddar cheese. 4 way. A 3 way with addition to either diced onions or kidney beans. 5 ways. The full experience with spaghetti, chili, cheese, onions, and beans. Other dishes. Skyline also serves its chili on hot dogs to make cheese coney, which is topped with mustard chili and shredded cheddar. Shredded cheddar. Well, that's very good. Yeah, that sounds very good. I like oysters. Skyline Chili was founded in 49 by Greek immigrants Nicholas Lambrides, who opened the first restaurant in Cincinnati. Restaurant was named for a view of the city's skyline. Original location. The Price Hill neighborhood recipe was inspired by his mother's traditional Greek recipes, who had been closely guarded family secret ever since. It's a regional icon. Major regional institutions in Ohio and other sources of intense local pride, with rivalries existing between loyalists of competing Cincinnati chili parlors like Gold Star. I love it or hate it. A dish unique combination of flavors, especially in sweet spices, can be polarizing for those unfamiliar with it. Too many locals, however, it is beloved comfort food. All right, let's see what this looks like. Yep, they sell it at Walmart. Really cool. Yeah, Gold Star. Okay. See the Cincinnati chitty, not chitty, but chili. Scared. Hilarious, Kay. Shout out to Mary Toodles. With the origins of putting chocolate in chili. The practice adding chocolate or coca savory dishes dates back to the Aztecs. It is a key ingredient in many traditional Mexican mole sauces, which served with the meat. Flavor enhancer. Unsweetened cocoa powder or dark chocolate is used to deepen, enrich savory flowers of spices like cumin and chili powder, adding it a richer, earthier dimension without making the dish taste like chocolate.
I knew about that.
You did?
Yeah.
We were talking about Cincinnati chili.
Oh no.
Have you heard of that?
I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know what it is, but I knew about the chocolate and the Mexican. Famous Mexican sauce, mole, and all that. Yeah.
It's chili with spaghetti and cheese.
I don't know. I'm not real familiar with that. No.
Yeah. Moki makes it.
Oh, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Is she from there?
No.
No, I'm not familiar with it though. No.
All right. And
It looks like someone's calling me.
Moki said I have dueling documentaries here: Michael Jackson trial, and those Ruby and Judy blogging nuts. I gotta watch that definitely. Right now, I'm eating a piece of whole grain bread toast with sattered butter and strawberry jam. It's delish. I don't put chocolate in mine, but it does have cinnamon in it. Oh, okay, Moki. Understood. Do you have ever used Mary Toodles? Have you ever used allspice?
Probably.
Okay.
I'm familiar. I mean, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Okay. And we're going to watch some scenes from this Depp trial. All right. Let's go here. All right.
Smart.
Mr. Depp, is this the version of the op-ed that you recognize?
Yes, ma'am, that's the one.
I would move Exhibit 1, Plaintiff's Exhibit 1 into evidence and ask that it be published to the jury.
Any objection? All right, one in evidence and publish.
Mr. Depp, when did you see Ms. Heard's December 18th, 2018 op-ed for the first time?
It was, presented to me by one of my team, I can't remember, but it was within a day or so of it, a couple of days of it having been written, I believe.
And what was your reaction when you saw it?
Shock.
Why were you shocked?
Because at that point, it had been a good solid two or so years of this, of the accusations, of the allegations, planted firmly on my back, so something that I had to carry with me. And I just couldn't believe that it was continuing. That it was continuing in such a way that it was clear that the more bad press, the more hit pieces that came out on me, the more of these stories of Ms. Heard and her righteous chase against me. It wasn't stopping, and it's difficult to once you've chewed on it for a couple of years, it becomes pretty difficult to swallow anymore. As it was completely untrue.
How did you feel when you saw the op-ed for the first time?
Objection asked and answered just now.
My prior question was about his reaction.
All right, I'll allow it.
Hurts. Yeah, a blinding hurt. It was like somebody had hit me in the back of the head with a 2x4. as I said, I had no I'd had no ability to speak prior to, because even if I had done an interview to try to explain myself, it turned into a hit piece. So my mouth was shut. And this was the opportunity where I thought, something's got to be done. It's just got to be done. I couldn't take it anymore.
When did you first learn that Disney was not going to recast you in the Pirates franchise?
It was probably 2 or 3 days after this op-ed appeared. One of my crew, again, I don't remember who had sent me, excuse me, had sent me a piece that was in some magazine, and Sean Bailey, who was the number 3.
Objection, hearsay.
I don't know yet. I'll overrule it at this point.
Thank you.
May I continue, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sean Bailey, who was the third in line, as I suppose, in the upper echelon of Disney, just basically said in the
Objection, hearsay.
Your
What
Honor,
Sean Bailey said.
this is about him
It's in
learning
an
about this. It's
article.
not for the truth.
It is the truth. She's
If
asking.
you want to approach, that's hard.
Please explain to the jury who Sean Bailey is. I think you were starting to.
Yes, I'll try again. Sean Bailey is the number 3, or was at the time. I don't know what his status is anymore, but at the time he was the number 3 sort of upper echelon of Disney top dogs, and Sean Bailey was quoted as saying that
Objection, hearsay.
Styles.
Getting into what he was quoted as saying.
he was quoted in whatever the article was that that was brought to my attention.
And can you please just clarify what article you're referring to?
I don't know what journal it came from. I don't know what magazine. I don't know any of that, so I don't know who did the interview with him.
Objection, lack of foundation.
I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Mr. Depp, how did you feel when you learned that you were being dropped from the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise?
Well, it was the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. It was a character that Captain Jack Sparrow was a character that I had built from the ground up, and was something that I of course put a lot of as you do with all characters, but you put a lot of yourself into the character. So, and also having worked on these films with these people and having added much of myself, much of my own rewriting of the dialogue and scenes and the jokes and whatever they are, I didn't quite understand how that, after that long relationship and quite a successful relationship, certainly for Disney, that they would, that suddenly I was guilty until proven innocent.
Up until the point that you learned that you were not going to be in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise any longer, what was your intention with respect to future Pirates movies?
The last thing that I knew from I say there's the producer team, there's the creative team, and there were many discussions. I, in fact, had been approached to take part in writing
Objection,
Pirates
hearsay.
6.
Mr. Depp, what was your intention with respect to future Pirates movies, aside from what you'd been asked to do?
My feeling was that these characters should be able to have their proper goodbye, as it were. A franchise can only last for so long. There's a way to end a franchise like that, and I thought that the characters deserved to have their way out of to end the franchise on a very good note. I planned on continuing until it was time to stop.
Mr. Depp, last week, Mr. Rottenborn asked you about a quote where you said you wouldn't come back to the Pirates franchise for $300 million and a million alpacas. Do you remember that?
I do.
When relative to learning that you would no longer be a part of the Pirates franchise, did you make that statement?
I think long before I made the statement, there was a very deep and distinct sense of having been betrayed by the people that I had been working with, the people that I had worked hard for, the people that I had delivered a character to that they initially despised, but somehow, even I stuck to my guns with the character and it seemed to work. So,
do you recall when specifically you made that statement about the $300 million and the 100 alpacas?
Objection, asked and answered.
Overruled, I'll allow it.
I believe I made that statement during a press conference in the San Sebastian at the San Sebastian Film Festival when I was asked about my situation.
And what year would that have been, if you can recall?
I believe it was last year or so.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 804? Mr. Depp, do you recognize this document?
As soon as my eyes go on, I hopefully will. Scaramanga Brothers, yes. Pirates of the Caribbean 4 and 5, yes.
Hello, Frog. Good to see you. Frog says, Mogi, look in the pool. Catch me if you can. LOL. Oh, hello, Lori. Good to see you. And Lori says, hey, friends, I'm taking a walk, just home, tuning in. Hope everyone is well. Oh, Lori, great to see you. Hope you're having a good day. And thank you for being here. Hope your day went well today. And shout out to you, Frog, too.
What is this document?
don't quite know. I'd have to read it to get some
Could we,
understanding of it.
could we scroll through so Mr. Depp can look at the rest of this document?
Oops. Oh, there it goes. It looks, this appears to me to be some species of contract, no?
Is this a contract that you entered into?
With Disney.
Lori says, I put in 10 hours getting out classroom ready. No, it's actually, I put in 10 hours getting our classroom ready, training, etc. Freshmen only tomorrow. Then we go live with all 1,600 students on Thursday. Oh, that sounds awesome. It sounds like a really big group of people. Yeah, it sounds exciting. I admire your passion about what you do.
Your Honor, I'd ask that Plaintiff's Exhibit 804 be moved into evidence and published.
Any objection?
I think it's outside the scope of direct or cross-examination.
I'll overrule on that objection.
Okay, and
Moki says the frog, I'll be right out. Did you bring cocktails? Question mark. Yeah, y'all have a good time, Moki and Frog. Facts, Lori.
well, I'll reserve other objections to portions of the document, depending on what she's going to ask about. Could be hearsay.
But she's asking to put it all into evidence right now.
Well, then I would object to that at this point.
All right, you want to come forward? Let's see.
It appears to be the agreement of Pirates 4 and 5, compensation and merchandise.
Mr. Depp, at this time, how many other franchise films had you been a part of?
At that time, Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland. I'm so pathetic when it comes to knowing what movies I've done. I'm sorry. I just, I don't watch them. I feel better not watching them. I couldn't, what was the question again?
How many?
I
How
have
many
order
other
in the
fran-
court, or I will have you removed. Understood? Thank you.
How many other franchise films had you been a part of at the time of this contract?
There was a third. There was Pirates. There was, with Warner Brothers, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and then Crimes of Grindelwald.
And how does the compensation reflected in this contract compare to that what you receive for the other franchises that you've been a part of?
Objection foundation.
He just established that he was a member of other franchise films at this point.
And he hasn't established a foundation that he knows how he was compensated for this.
I'll overrule the objection if you can answer.
I believe the compensation, obviously, all the pay and back end and all those things are negotiated by agents, lawyers, and this was comparatively this is my salary on that film. and other salaries were of a similar status, I suppose.
If I could direct your attention to the 12th page of the document.
Yes. Cool.
Is this your signature, Mr. Depp?
Yes, it is.
Okay. You can take this down. Thank you. Mr. Depp, I recall that you testified that you don't know during a given period what movies you were working on. So my question is, who would know that?
Well, first and foremost, is my agent, or agents. I do recall a couple of the other films that I'd made after. One was initially called Richard Says Goodbye, and that was, they changed the name to The Professor, and during all of the nastiness over the past 6 years, that film went straight to pay-per-view. There was another film called Minamata that was produced. It was my company, Infinitum Nile. We had developed a film called Minamata about Eugene Smith, and the Minamata, the mercury poisoning of a very small fishing village in southern Japan. There was that one, and then there was a film called Waiting for the Barbarians with Mark Rylance and Robert Pattinson. Those were 3 films that I had done.
Mr. Depp, during your cross-examination, Mr. Rottenborn showed you a number of text messages between you and Paul Bettany. Do you remember that?
I do.
Could you please explain to the jury what your relationship with Mr. Bettany is?
Mr. Bettany and I had, we'd met while I was making a film called The Tourist in Venice.
Objection, speculation.
Overruled.
I am harassed, humiliated, threatened every single day. Even just walking into this courtroom, sitting here in front of the world, having the worst parts of my life, things I've lived through, used to humiliate me. People want to kill me, and they tell me so every day. People want to put my baby in the microwave, and they tell me that. Johnny threatened, promised me that if I ever left him, he'd make me think of him every single day that I lived.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
All right. I'll sustain the objection as to that. If you want to ask the question.
Amber, how did Mr. Depp's statements and threats to you that you were discussing, how do those continue to manifest themselves today?
in the harassment and the humiliation, the campaign against me that's echoed every single day on social media and now in front of cameras in this room. Every single day I have to relive the trauma. My hands shake. I wake up screaming. I have to live with the trauma and the damage done to me. My friends have to live with a set of unspoken rules about how to not scare me.
Objection, hearsay.
Yes, sir.
Unspoken rules
Overruled. Go ahead.
about how to not touch me, not to surprise me. My intimate partners have rules about how they can deal with me, how they can touch me. I have rules for doctors and medical professionals I see, gynecologists I see. I live my life with these sets of rules that I have to follow, my friends have to follow for me not to have a panic attack or a triggering event where I relive the trauma. Even if I'm training to do my movie, for instance, if I'm training for Aquaman, a combat scene and a trigger happens, I have a meltdown and have to deal with that. The crew I work with have to deal with that because of the damage I walk around with every single day from what I've lived through, from what I've survived. I'm not sitting in this courtroom snickering. I'm not sitting in this courtroom laughing, smiling, and making snide jokes. I'm not. This is horrible. This is painful. And this is humiliating for any human being to go through. And perhaps it's easy to forget that, but I'm a human being. And even though Johnny promised that I deserve this and promised he'd do this, I don't deserve this. I want to move on. Those statements, the attacks on me, the campaign, that Johnny has elicited millions of people to do on his behalf when he himself
Objection, Your Honor,
couldn't do
lack
it.
of foundation.
Torture me.
Speculation.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Amber, how have the Depp-Waldman statements impacted your ability to do charitable work?
You know, the only reason that people like Dr. Curry can sit up here on the stand and say I'm high functioning and I do things like have hobbies and have interests is
Objection,
because I'm not.
non-responsive.
Your Honor, Mr. Depp gave long-winded responses
Overruled. Go
yesterday.
ahead.
It's because I found a solution to that pain. I woke up every morning with panic attacks and trauma until I realized I could do something with it. So to answer your question, Ben, I was able to turn the things that I've lived through, my pain, my life experiences, into work, into action, into providing a voice for other people. I'm not a saint. I'm not trying to present myself as one, as you all know, but I selfishly found relief in being able to use what I've lived through to advocate for others, to bring light to these issues, to give a voice to people who don't have the voice and the platform that I have. And while I would not wish this situation on my worst enemy, if it gives a voice to someone who doesn't have it, but I now, as I stand here today, can't have a career. I can't even have people associate with me because of the threats and the attacks that they have to endure.
Objection,
when they are.
non-responsive.
And I can't do my charity work.
Sustain the objection.
Amber, other than the threats that you've described, what other threats have you endured since the Depp-Waldman statements were made?
I receive hundreds of death threats regularly, if not daily. Thousands since this trial has started. People mocking my testimony about being assaulted, making fun of my...
Objection, relevance. Non-responsive.
Goes to
Overruled.
damages. You can continue.
It's been agonizing, painful, and the most humiliating thing I've ever had to go through. I hope no one ever has to go through something like this. I just want Johnny to leave me alone. I just want him to leave me alone. I've said that for years now, and I thought he would after 2020.
Objection, non-responsive.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
What do you hope to reclaim after this is over?
Protecting the secret that I did for as long as I did has taken enough of my voice. Johnny has taken enough of my voice. I have the right to tell my story. I have the right to say what happened to me. I have the right to my voice and my name. He took it long enough. I have a right as an American to talk about what happened to me, to own my story and my truth. I have that right. I hope to get my voice back. It's all I want. And I've said that from day one.
Thank you, Amber. I don't have anything else.
All right, cross-examination.
Actually, Your Honor, may we approach very
Yes,
briefly?
yes. Yeah.
This is what
Actually, Your Honor, may we approach very
Yes,
briefly?
yes. Yeah.
That he could effectively break her wrist by saying he knew how many pounds of pressure, or asking her how many pounds of pressure it took to break a human wrist.
But your own witness, your former best friend, Rocky Pennington, she didn't corroborate that, did she?
I'm not quite sure what part of that night she saw. There were a lot of people there.
She didn't testify that Mr. Depp grabbed anyone's wrist in Hicksville.
Again, I don't know what Rocky saw. There were a lot of people there that night.
You testified that once you brought Mr. Depp back to your trailer, he trashed it, correct?
That is correct.
And the manager of the Hicksville trailer park was furious that Johnny had wrecked the whole thing. Do you remember that testimony?
That's correct.
Well, we heard from that manager of the Hicksville trailer park, Morgan Knight, on Monday, didn't we?
I'm not quite sure who that guy was or if he had any involvement in this. I know a lot of people have come out of the woodwork to be involved.
So you're accusing Mr. Knight of testifying and committing perjury?
I'm not accusing anyone. I just don't recognize that man.
You heard Mr. Knight testify that it was actually you who was upset with Mr. Depp spending time away from him. Isn't that correct?
How would he know? He wasn't there.
You heard Mr. Knight testify that it was actually you who was yelling at Mr. Depp.
Again, I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things to be involved in the Johnny Depp show, but he wasn't there. He doesn't know. And he certainly doesn't know what happened behind closed doors, like most people.
So you're calling Mr. Knight a liar?
I am saying he wasn't there, and what he testified to doesn't match what I know happened. But I don't fault him. He wasn't there, so how would he know?
He testified he was there, Ms. Heard. Did you hear that?
That's his testimony, yes.
So you're calling him a liar.
I'm just saying he wasn't there.
You heard Mr. Knight testify that the trailer wasn't trashed, and that's why you're calling him a liar.
He testified that a light fixture was broken, similar to the way that
Yes, other
Johnny's
than a light
employees
fixture, that was
testified
the
to
only
my
thing that was
closet
broken,
being
right? Ms.
rearranged
Heard?
and things
Ms.
like
Heard?
that.
The only thing that was broken in the trailer, according to Mr. Knight, was a light fixture. Yes or no?
I realized that he summed it up by saying a light fixture was broken, just the way his security guard summed up him trashing my closet as being rearranged.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to strike everything after he summed it up, that it was a light fixture, as non-responsive.
She answered the question, Your Honor.
Overruled.
In the security guard testimony, Your Honor?
I'll allow it. Go ahead.
Mr. Knight also testified that he charged Mr. Depp only $62 for the damaged light fixture. You heard that, correct?
I did.
In Hicksville, you were the only one that was jealous that Mr. Depp was spending time from other people. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
That isn't correct.
In Hicksville, you were the one who was upset that Mr. Depp wasn't giving you enough attention.
Incorrect again.
Ms. Heard, you told this jury that you had no idea the press was going to be at the courthouse when you got your TRO on May 27th, 2016. Do you remember that testimony?
I said I did not have anything to do with it. Yes.
No. My question again. You told this jury that you had no idea that the press was going to be outside after you got the ex-party TRO on May 27th, 2016. Do you remember that testimony?
I apologize. I must have misunderstood Ms. Vasquez. I actually had no idea whether they were going to be there or not. When I walked into the courtroom that day, it was completely quiet, still, empty. Even though I had given Johnny's team notice that I was filing the
Objection.
TRO,
Your Honor, this is not
we had
responsive.
no reason to
Move
believe
to
that the
strike.
press knew.
And Your Honor, I would also ask that you instruct the witness to please stop talking once I lodge an objection.
Your Honor, she's trying to answer the question as best she can, and Ms. Vasquez is misrepresenting to her what she testified to.
Well, I'll strike the last part as non-responsive.
Thank you.
Just if you could just answer the questions asked. Okay, thank you, Ms. Heard.
In fact, you testified that you were, quote, shocked when you saw press when you were leaving the courthouse. Yes?
Yes.
You weren't shocked at all, though, were you?
Incorrect. It was
You knew the press
horrifying.
would be at the courthouse, right, Ms. Heard?
No.
Well, you did bring your publicist to the courthouse with you on May 27th, 2016, didn't you?
I sure did. I'm a public figure. I brought my publicist in case it blew up. In case. And
You
I'm
actually
glad
had
I did.
alerted TMZ that you would be filing a TRO against Mr. Depp that very day,
No, I did
didn't
not.
you?
No, I did
The
not.
one day you didn't bother to wear makeup to cover up the mark on your face.
I did not call TMZ or any other news source or paparazzi source. No one. I
We
never
heard
did that.
testimony from former TMZ employee Morgan Tremaine yesterday, correct?
Did I hear his testimony?
Yes.
Yes, I was here.
Yes. And you heard Mr. Tremaine's testimony that he knew to dispatch the paparazzi to the courthouse on May 27th, right?
I heard him say that he knew that, yes.
Yeah, and that he dispatched paparazzi to the courthouse to capture a picture of an alleged bruise on the right side of your face. Do you remember him saying that?
I remember him saying that.
That information must have come from your team, right, Ms. Heard?
Absolutely not. Why would I want that? What actual survivor of domestic violence wants that?
Now, the video of Mr. Depp beating up some kitchen cabinets, you admit that you took that video, correct?
Yes, I did.
Right. And you acknowledge that the video was released online the day before you were deposed in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp in August of 2016, right?
Catalan. I believe it was, yes.
But you testified that you had absolutely nothing to do with the video's release, right?
Absolutely not.
And you testified that you learned about it when you landed after flying into LA. Do you remember that testimony?
Upon touchdown is when I was alerted to the video's
You
existence
heard Mr.
online.
Tremaine testify that about this video as well yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ received the cabinet video the same day you landed at LAX, yes?
I don't know if I don't know if that's what his testimony was. I'm sorry.
You heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the cabinet video was posted 15 minutes after TMZ received it, yes?
That's what I heard him say.
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source, yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible because
And
it
you
didn't
heard
come from me. I was
Mr.
flying.
Tremaine
So
testify.
I know that's incorrect is what I mean to say.
Another liar on the stand?
I just know that that's incorrect.
Right. And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ owns the copyright to the cabinet video, right?
That's news to me.
the cabinet video you filmed of your then husband. Yes?
The copyright ownership of that is news to me. I learned that yesterday.
It's the cabinet video that you captured of your then husband. Yes?
That is correct. I did capture that video, and
The
yes,
cabinet
that was
video-
my husband.
The same cabinet video that was released the night before you were deposed in your divorce. Yes?
That's correct.
You must have also heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the version of the cabinet video that TMZ received was incomplete compared to the video the jury saw in this trial. Did you hear that?
The video that that you have seen is complete.
Right. But the one TMZ got the day before your deposition in the divorce was incomplete.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
He testified that at the beginning portion of the video where you set up the camera, that wasn't included in the video that TMZ received.
I don't know what video TMZ
I'm talking
received.
about Mr. Tremaine's testimony, Ms. Hurd. Let's just
You're
focus on
asking me
Mr.
to
Tremaine.
repeat his testimony?
No, I'm asking you if you recall hearing him say those words to this jury.
Yes,
Under oath.
I heard his testimony. We all did.
And he testified that the end of the video where you can be seen smirking. I know you testified earlier that you haven't been smirking in this trial, but you sure were caught on camera smirking in that video.
I disagree with that.
Was also not included in the TMZ video.
Everyone can watch that video and you can determine whether you think it's funny to me or not.
That's because the video came from you, right, Ms. Hurd?
No, it did not.
You
That
edited
video
out
did
the
not
portions.
come to me. I mean, come from me.
Ms. Hurd, you edited out the portions that made you look bad before sending it to TMZ.
You're very wrong about that.
So that
if I
only
wanted to
Mr.
leak
Depp
information, I
looked
could have
bad.
done it in a more effective way, a lot sooner and a lot more.
Because you
I
knew
was
exactly
living
how to
with
do
a
that,
mountain
right?
of this evidence. If I wanted to leak it, I could have done a lot more with it.
I thought you testified earlier in this trial that you didn't know how to leak things.
I
Remember
don't.
that? Right. You edited that video before you gave it to TMZ so that only Mr. Depp would look bad. Yes?
That's absurd.
Right in the middle of your divorce proceedings.
Again, you're very wrong.
I'd like to show you a picture from that's already admitted into evidence. It's Defendant's Exhibit 799. This is you at the courthouse on May 27th, 2016, when you got your domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
It is.
And next to you is a woman named Jody Gottlieb, right?
Yes, yes.
Jody Gottlieb is your publicist.
And dear friend.
Now I'd like to show you what's been marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 1316. This is a picture of you and your friend Rocky Pennington, right?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I'd like to move to admit this photograph.
Any objection to 1316?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 1316 in evidence. You can publish to the jury.
This is a picture of you on May 28th, 2016, right, Ms. Hurd?
I don't know when this was taken.
This is the day after you obtained the domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
I have no idea when this image was taken. I did not take it.
There's no bruise on your face in this picture, is there?
Again, I don't know when this was taken, and also I'm outside. I was obviously wearing makeup. I have no idea when this was taken, so I have no idea if I can
Let's
speak to
refresh your
what
recollection.
bruise you can
Let's
see or
refresh
not.
your recollection about when this picture was taken. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1315, just for the witness? This is an article dated May 30th, 2016, right, Ms. Hurd?
That's what it says, yes.
And this article contains the same photograph of you and Ms. Pennington we were just looking at, yes?
Yes, I see that.
And the article is entitled, Amber Heard Smiles as She Puts Arm Around Friend One Day After Getting Restraining Order Against Johnny Depp. Is that what the title says?
I know that's what the title says, yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit and publish the article with everything but the headline and date and the photo redacted.
Objection, Your Honor. That's inconsistent from the way you've treated all of these.
I'll sustain the objection. All right, next question.
Let's take a look at picture Plaintiff's Exhibit 1317. This is also a picture of you and Ms. Pennington on May 28th, 2016, isn't it?
I don't know when this photo was taken, but it looks like the same outing as the picture prior.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 1317.
Any objection?
No, Your
All
Honor.
right, 1317 in evidence. You can publish.
There's no bruise on your face in this picture either, right?
I disagree. If it is taken when you represent it was taken, then obviously there's a bruise on my face. It's covered by makeup as per usual.
Let's zoom out of that picture for a moment, please. Thanks, Tom. That's Josh Drew in this picture, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And Miss Pennington
That is correct.
in there too? Ms.
That is
Pennington
correct.
submitted a sworn statement on your behalf in support of your domestic violence restraining order, didn't she?
I believe she did, yes.
Mr. Drew also submitted a statement in support of your domestic violence restraining order.
I believe they both did, yes.
Ms. Hurd, I'd like to show you Defendant's Exhibit 512, which is already in evidence. You've seen this photograph before, right?
I have.
On the second day of your direct testimony, you testified that this was taken in the downstairs of the main apartment on December 15th, 2015. Do you recall that testimony?
Yes, I believe so.
So it's your testimony that Defendant's Exhibit 512 reflects damage to Penthouse 5 that occurred during the December 15th, 2015 incident, yes?
I'm not quite sure from what incident this is when I see this photo in a vacuum without context.
Let's give you that context. Can we please, thanks, if I could have day 16 trial testimony? Your Honor, may we approach?
All right.
When we hit that first
Sorry, 1 second.
Specifically starting on line 16, where it says, let's talk about December 15th, 2015.
You said 4585. I'm on 4485. Sorry, you said 4585.
4585.
Pardon.
Line 16. Line 16, where it says, let's talk about December 15th, 2015. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay. And then do you see that your testimony about December 15th, 2015 follows?
Let's see. It's just the first line or two. Yes.
Okay. Now I'd like you to turn to page 4603. Starting at line 12. 4603. Starting at line 12 and going on to page 4604, line 4.
Okay.
And do you see that you testify that Defendant's Exhibit 512, which is on the screen,
Yes,
is a picture of the downstairs of the main apartment?
that's correct.
And the main apartment is Penthouse 5 in the Eastern Columbia building, right?
No, well, depends on what. The main apartment's penthouse 3 generally when we say main apartment.
Penthouse 5 was where you had your closet?
The downstairs was kind of like had some of my painting studio set up and a reception area. Upstairs was the closet. Mezzanine office was in between.
All right, so it's your testimony that Defendant's Exhibit 512 reflects damage to the penthouse, Penthouse 5, that occurred during the December 15th, 2015 incident, right?
I'm just not sure from which incident this is a picture of, since I'm only looking at
Even
a
though your
partial
counsel
floor.
was asking you questions about December 15th, 2015, and then admitted this picture into evidence
Again,
in relation to that incident.
Sorry, go ahead.
In relation to that incident on December 15th, 2015. This exhibit, defendant's exhibit, you are the defendant, number 512, was admitted into evidence in this court. You testified that this was the result of damage that occurred on December 15th, 2015. Yes or no?
I just need to orient myself because I'm just looking at a picture of a partial picture of a
Ms. Heard,
floor,
you didn't just
so
look
I
at a
can't.
picture. You looked at your testimony.
You pointed me towards the page and then asked me a question. I haven't actually reviewed it. I don't know if this was submitted in relation to that incident.
Let's actually leave up defendant's 512 and please pull up defendant's exhibit 725, which is already in evidence
Thank you.
in redacted form, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You can publish.
Just side by side. You've seen this photograph as well, right?
I have.
On the third day of your direct testimony, you testified that this photograph reflected spilled wine in Penthouse 5 on May 21st, 2016, didn't you?
Again, I don't know because I'm looking at a partial picture of a floor. So unless you remove the metadata you've covered up, we could then tell. If you
I didn't cover it up, Your Honor.
Could we unredact
Your Honor
them so we could get context?
That's how it's in evidence.
That's how
All
it's in
right.
evidence.
Next
Well,
question.
the metadata next to it is so that
Ms.
to
Heard,
avoid this
Ms.
sort of
Heard,
confusion.
there is no question pending, and I would appreciate it if you wouldn't be making argument to the jury.
Sorry, I
It's
thought you had
inappropriate.
asked me about it.
No, I didn't ask you about anything. Let's look at your direct testimony from the third day.
Okay, Moki, good night to you. See you tomorrow or at the other stream. Well, both, technically.
Now, may I approach?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's turn to page 4750 in day 17 transcript.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
4750. Specifically line 16. Do you see where Ms. Bredehoff asked you to describe for the jury what took place on May 21st, 2016?
I see that.
And do you see that your testimony is reflected about May 21, 2015?
Yes.
That follows? Okay.
Yes.
Now let's turn to page 4804. At line 14. 4804. Starting at line 14
Yes.
through 4805, line 4.
Going to what line?
Line 4 at 4805. Do you see that you're testifying that defendant's exhibit 725, which is reflected on the right side, reflects spilled wine on the floor in Penthouse 5?
That's correct.
Okay, and defendant's exhibit 512 and 725 seem to be different versions of the same picture, don't they?
That's correct.
Okay, so which is it? Which one was taken on December 15th, 2015, or May 21st, 2016?
If you remove the redacted metadata, you can find out. It's right there.
Or if you're telling the truth, you would know.
Recognize a portion of of spilled wine on a floor, and I'm supposed to know off the top of my head when you've
No.
lived through 5 years of this stuff? I don't think so. That's not how that works.
Okay. Thank you, Tom.
All right, everybody. So what I'm about to do is we'll be ending the stream now. And also, Lori, I made some AI pictures of the sunset you described. I'll show you in the next one. Let's see though. And anyway, so Lori, I'll see you at the other stream in a little bit, a few minutes or so. I don't know, something like that. So, Lori and everyone in chat, thank you for watching. I appreciate all you being here. And Lori says she can't paste that sideways hairdo. No, she can't. She's completely incapable of doing that because she got some from Temu. She got some of her paste from Temu and it didn't work. You only got half a bottle. Yeah. All right. So I'll show you that next time you're here, Lori. And thank you all for coming. And peace.